Hey friends, how's it going?
It's been
A hot minute since
Hot.
last week.
caliente.
Super caliente, especially with all this humidity. But anyways, today we're going to be doing some hair and makeup.
Woo.
And we're also going to be talking about racism in the beauty industry because we all know it's there.
We've all experienced it.
And a lot of people don't like to talk about it.
Nope.
We definitely brought it up in hair school, and that was shut down so quick. Anyways, today we're going to be using some Good Dye Young in the color Narwhal by Hayley Williams. It's super thick. Super thick. I poured out about 30 grams of each color. Figured I would use about that much on each side of his head. We're doing a split colored look. Super exciting. But after messing with the color a little bit, I realized that I was definitely going to need some more. So I poured out, I think, another 10 grams.
So like 40 grams each.
Yeah. This green one was super gooey. I loved messing with it, though. And oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Like bubblegum.
Yes, but I'll talk a little bit more on the consistency of these whenever we get to the application.
It's a very vibrant green for also being a bond sustainer.
Yes, I
is
was not
cool.
expecting the results that we got out of this.
It was very awesome. And because it's a bond sustainer means that it's repairing the protein in the hair at the same time. So it's super reparative, really silky feeling afterwards. It was really nice.
And so, before I started the color application, I went ahead and parted his head down the middle. I pinned off the side that I wasn't going to be working on. That way I just stayed
In place.
yeah, and out of the other section. I went in by first doing a thick application of color on the perimeter that was going to be bordering the other side. And as you see here, I just started working my way back from the front using, I think, less than a 1/4 inch
Section. Well, maybe
subsection.
less than a half inch, but small sections.
Definitely, because when you're messing with semi-permanent colors, you need to take as small sections as possible, saturate as much as possible, no bubbles. Bubbles are not your friends here. Like, fish are your friends, but not the bubbles. The bubbles, no, definitely not. That's
Fish are friends, not food. Sorry, I just was taken aback by that Finding Nemo reference. But anyway, yeah, bubbles are friends, not food.
No, bubbles are not your friends here.
Okay, got it. That's right. We
Bubbles
don't want to...
mean that you're going to have splotchiness in your color,
Yeah.
and it comes from overworking your color. Semi-permanent color is not meant to be moved around as much as permanent and demi-permanent color,
And
even though...
bleach.
And bleach. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely not bleach.
That little hair sticking out.
Look at him and his little alfalfa moment. That thing is like...
Put that shit in its place.
Look at that narwhal, though. That blue
It's
was
so pretty.
so pretty.
Now, I was anticipating the narwhal to be more of a teal from the swatches that I saw and the color that it's advertised to be, but it does sincerely come out a bit darker than I was expecting. I'm sure to make it more teal, you would just add a little bit of green to it.
Oh, I
and it
wonder what would have happened had we mixed it with the Uberless.
Well, now...
The alien green.
In the time that we're recording this, now it's been about a week and I've washed my hair about 5 times. The center is starting to blend. The center of the two is starting to blend into this nice pure green. So I'm sure that's
Yes.
exactly what would have happened if I added a little green to the narwhal. Would have come out just more teal. Would have been nice, but I really love the blue nonetheless. It's a gorgeous color application and it smells citrusy. It has bergamot oil. And so it has this really strong citrus scent. It's nice. We had a lot of aromatherapy happening.
Oh god, I loved it. Whenever we got to the rinsing of it, I was just hit with all these aromas of like flowers and
bubblegum.
And bubblegum. It was just so woo. It was just delicious.
You know, it's so strange. Let's actually get into the racism in the beauty industry. Our big experience in cosmetology school was bringing that subject up of how, hey, why do we talk a lot about fine white people hair, you know, average level 6, level 7, easy to lift, and yet we don't talk about texture. We don't talk about coloring black people's hair or even Latinx people's hair, because more than half the time I've noticed that Latinx people's hair is darker, coarser, more difficult to lift as opposed to black people hair. And I think people just dismiss black people as in a like, it's too much work, it's dirty, it's nappy. And they use all these horrible terms to put down black hair when it's actually the most fragile, the most needed care. It needs a lot of moisture, and it's actually very easy to lift. If you take bleach to black hair, it's very similar into the lift that you would get close to white people hair. I only have issues with like my own hair personally. When I lift, it is very hard orange and gold, and it is very difficult to tone, and I don't notice that as often with black people hair.
Basically, and especially as a hairstylist, it's not fair to reject black clientele simply because of racial dispositions that you believe to be true when it comes to bleaching and coloring black people hair.
Amen.
Ooh, look at that application.
Nice.
Clean. And now we're at the rinsing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rinsing out your semi-permanent colors, especially ones vibrant like this and trying to do a two-tone look, you want to remove as much color as possible before you start shampooing and like smushing all that together. So here I just rinsed out with cold water. Got all of the buildup of color that was in there all out, and then moved on to the neck side. I started by trying to keep him like as leveled as possible. That way the color wouldn't bleed over to the other side. The Uberless definitely rinsed out more like a conditioner, and the Good Dye Young definitely came out a lot more like color. Literally like
right.
It was literally coming off of the head. Ooh, look at that. Almost reminds me of like a Hades and some type of...
What would the green be?
I don't know. Forest something. I don't know.
The blue is
Pixie.
kind of Hades. You're so right. Oh yeah, so this is the makeup. As you can see, I had a little acne, so I was color correcting. I put a little bit of green on my red spot and just went in with my basic foundation coverage and my basic contour to begin. You know, your foundation. This is like your blank canvas before you begin painting your masterpiece. Am I right?
Same thing with hair. Like when you want to do a really vibrant color, you have to blank out your canvas.
And make it bleached out. It's very funny because we do get asked a lot, of course, hey, I want to do a blue, but I don't want to bleach. Then it's not going to be blue.
So you mean I can't put my blue on my level 1 black hair and for it to look blue-black?
No.
No.
That's
Your
not how that works.
semi-permanent color isn't going to do bubgis to your level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 black hair.
It's just not going to happen. It can't. It's like trying to draw with crayons on black parchment paper. You're not going to see anything.
It's just going to look muddy.
I basically am trying to convey that a foundation is key to vibrantly seeing your colors, right? Y'all remember when you had that eyeshadow from Claire's or like Libby Lou or whatever back in 6th, 7th grade, and you would put that on and you were like, yes, so cute, so sparkly, gonna last all day. Lies. It was gone by first period because we didn't know what primer was. We didn't know what foundation was. And obviously, that's the only reason you can even see the color. So, thankfully...
I wish I could have experienced something like that.
Honestly, be thankful that you didn't, because it was not cute. I remember I had this, like, Maybelline Color Last 24-hour wear girl. That was, like, 48... 72-hour wear. I could not get that thing off. I also didn't know what makeup remover was. So my lips were just pink for 3 days.
That is relatable. I did try like eyeliner sometimes here and there, and that stuff would never come out.
You got like waterproof eyeliner.
Terrible. I'd get yelled at.
So this makeup look today, I'm going to be matching my hair. We're doing blue and green. And I try to mix a few kind of more teal tones on both sides to make that blend, so to speak. But all I did was I picked my main color, so my main green, and I picked a dark green for the crease. And I picked this really cute, creamy liquid eyeshadow from Collab that does this really nice subtle sparkle. That was my inner corner highlight. And y'all, this NYX loose pigment is the most beautiful metallic green I've ever worked with in my life. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I've had this loose pigment for years. It is stunning. It's gonna just be in my permanent collection forever. The rest of this look was actually inspired from a look that I did back in 2016. And I had a little bit of color, but the big highlight of it was this contrasting white against the color. So for this look, I have the two tones, the green and the blue, and this white eyeliner. And also what you'll see later, I'm going to put a white strip and white upper lip effect, just to have the contrast between the colors and the white. I just feel it's really clean, really pretty, and it's just a little look. That's all it is. It's just what I was feeling artistically.
Isn't it interesting how many shades of white there are in like makeup lines? I always found that so weird, like going into Sephora and being like white, 2 brown shades.
Yes.
In the majority of lines.
All lines. I'm pretty sure the only line that was able to break big boundaries was Fenty Beauty. And then, of course, Kylie was, like, riding the coattails of that, trying to be like, we're all so expansive, too. And it's like, okay, sure.
Kind of like that when a lot of, like, corporations jumped onto the whole, like, Black Lives Matter movement without actually backing it up.
I mean, well, in general, of course they capitalize off of Black Lives Matter. It's also the same with, like, Pride Month. Like, they always capitalize off of LGBT things, but they don't actually,
support them.
Yeah, they don't have representation in their marketing teams, in their models, in their workers in general. Usually the crew is all white, no matter what. And they just want to feel like they're inclusive, that they are diverse. But that's not the case. It's 50 Shades Beige, and you've got mahogany and espresso for your brown shades. But, like, sincerely, like, Maybelline has, like, beige, neutral beige, true beige, light beige, dark beige. I'm not messing around. Like, this
porcelain.
Yes, translucent. Like, it's just ridiculous when you have maybe one honey, and then after that espresso and mahogany, and those are your shades of brown. That's insane to me and doesn't make any sense. And actually, an unfortunate thing that I noticed working in a lot of general beauty retail outlets, when the colors get discontinued, they get rid of the dark shades first. They get rid of all the browns, all the blacks, and then the only ones they have left in that collection will be the whites. They'll have like 5 or 6 shades of whites. And that just tells me as a consumer that, okay, you are only marketing towards white people. You think only white people shop, and even when it comes to clearance and discontinuing items, you think white people are worth investing in, that you get rid of the brown shades first. That's
so messed up.
Yes, that's exactly like what you're telling your consumers, that I don't care about you because your skin is darker. I think that I'm going to profit more off of white people. Ooh, so here I'm doing the brows. This time around, I'm doing a different method. I'm laying down my brows with a clear gel first, so a general brow gel, to set them and prime them for what I'm going to do, since I'm coloring my brows this time and I'm not doing them a neutral shade of brown or black. I'm doing both blue and green. I prime them with the gel so that when I glide my eyeliner pencil on, it goes out way, way cleaner, way, way smoother, and it's a lot easier to fill in without me having to use as much of the pencil. So I just go in.
That's cool.
Right? Yeah, it's a little technique that I like. I'm sure it's been used by others, but it's definitely one that helps me when I do the color effect on the brows. And then I just go in with a brush to fill in with a little powder, and I'll go back one more time with my eyeliner after resharpening it and making those fine little hairs to make them look like my natural blue and green brows, Grew them straight out of my face.
Wouldn't that be awesome if we could actually grow colored
hair? Yes, that would be amazing. But no, we don't live in an anime. Sorry. We have to make the colors ourselves.
Speaking of colors, isn't it just frustrating whenever you hear that saying of, I don't see colors, I don't see race, I'm
colorblind.
Exactly. And then we have things like the Proud Family. and these obvious black sisters that are called the Gross Sisters.
And they're painted blue.
Because
They're
ashy.
Ugh,
Like,
yes, yeah.
what is this, Disney? Like, really?
Well, and that was also back in the... I mean, it was also, like, Doug. If anyone remembers the cartoon Doug, the main character was white. So very obviously, him and his family were white. But they were the only white-colored characters. Every other character in the show, especially his best friend, who was blue, like... They were all colors. They were literally...
Green, orange, blue,
purple, whatever. And instead of properly representing different ethnicities and different skin colors, they literally turned other ethnicities into cartoons of color. That's...
I hate when I hear the excuse of, they can't draw or color black people. It wastes so much ink and this and that. And it's just like...
That's so ridiculous to me because don't you have to make white ink too? Don't you have to make pinks and peaches and beige? I mean, come on. You can't say that, oh, no, it's too hard to make black and brown. Bullshit, okay? I'm going to call just straight bullshit on that.
Basically, representation matters. Seeing your color skin, seeing your culture out there being portrayed by media in the beauty industry
and TV, film,
that's what matters right now.
Mm-hmm.
These discussions that we're having are
about racism. It's very important. We need to discuss these things because it's time that we've grown out of it. Everything that we were raised on was European and whitewashed, and we don't know our indigenous roots. Black people don't know their culture because they were stolen and brought over to a country that wasn't theirs. So let's have these conversations together so we can keep growing and being better. I think it's vital, you know?
And hopefully bring a new, inclusive future for our future children.
Yes, they deserve that. We deserve that. Wow. Yeah. So that finishes our look today. That finishes our video. As you can see here, I'm doing the final touches, adding a little bit of an ombre effect on my upper lip with this tealish blue. It brings the whole look together.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in with us today. Please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want us to discuss any future topics.
Yeah, anything specific that you're just itching to get into, right? Stay tuned after these photos to take a moment of silence in honor of those who've been taken away from us due to police brutality. Black Lives Matter. Let's be the change that our children need.
Love y'all. Bye, friends.